Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to make a video to encourage you going through whatever you're going through right now, because we always get to the other side of it. So let me tell you my story. It took 1 year to pretty much destroy my entire life, about 2 years to fix it. I lost my license, then my freedom with it, and then my dad and my girlfriend, and eventually I lost myself. But somehow I made it out to the other side. So if you're struggling right now, maybe my story can help. Everything started with losing my license. It was one stupid mistake, and I already thought I could just ignore it and keep going and keep driving, and that I would get away with it. But we all know that, it doesn't work like that. So I ended up with 5 court cases. Can you imagine that? Every time I got pulled over, they would just get worse, and like I had more fees, and I kept on driving. I was like, you know what, it's okay, I'll figure it out at one point. But I just thought I could outrun my problems, and that was honestly the biggest lie. At my lowest, I ended up living in a woodshed, and I was feeding horses, and honestly I didn't plan on it, but it just happened. It wasn't expected, but somehow that place saved me. And working on a ranch, first time in a long time, I felt still. The horses, they didn't care about my mistakes. Somehow the simplicity of this life brought me a lot of peace. I took care of like 11 horses, I fed them, cleaned their stables, was cutting trees. I kind of felt like I was useful. I was getting physically stronger. I was surrounded by beautiful mountains with view on the sea, a lot of sun, all this fresh air. It did something to me. It didn't fix my life or all the stuff that I had to take care of, but at least I felt okay. So I remember moving into that place in November, and by the time it was summer, in July I met a girl. So she was kind, beautiful, and patient. I guess she saw something in me, and for the first time in a while, I felt like maybe I could start over, and that things were starting to look up. So I moved closer to her, like 50 miles away. I left this job, but the truth is I still had about $20,000 in court fees, and I kept it a secret to this ex-girlfriend at first, but it wasn't long until I had to just admit the whole story and that my life was a complete mess. So then I started working, and I had a day job and then a night job, which honestly was really hard and exhausting. I had no time for myself, and I had barely any time for my girlfriend actually. So it was just like a situation of survival. But I knew that if I didn't do it, I would probably get stuck in that same situation forever. So, she tried to be there for me and to understand, but the truth is I wasn't the same. Like I was like drowning in debt, paperwork was stacking up. I just had a hard time letting anyone in. So eventually she walked away, and at this point, I don't blame her. As I was fixing my big mistake, my loss of my license through a DUI, my mom called me one day, and they were separated at the time, but she said that my dad was in the hospital and that he had gotten a stroke. So I had a lot of resentment against my father because he wasn't really there for us. But at this point, like, it didn't really matter anymore, right? That's my dad. I'm like, do I want to go see him? Of course I want to see him. At the time, I just gave excuses, and I said I had too much on my plate, too many obligations. So I stayed. So it took a full year of working non-stop, 284 hours of community service. I was going to AA classes and, just going through every step to get my license back. So I thought things would be different once I did, but honestly they didn't. I moved back to where I had left my friends 2 years before. A year and a half passed by with my dad in hospital, and honestly something inside of me was broken. So I started being depressed. I had no girlfriend anymore. I wasn't eating. I lost 20 pounds, and I'm not the heaviest guy, so I was very skinny. And then eventually my mom called me and said that my dad passed away during COVID in the hospital. Like, nobody was able to visit him. I couldn't do anything, and so I did nothing. I told myself I didn't need to go back there because to me there was nothing to see. Like, it was already gone. I gave excuses again, like my passport and my green card and also my social security card had been stolen at a time when I was like staying in my car. And later on I realized that the embassy could have expedited everything and I would have been able to go. But at that point, I had completely missed my chance, not because of stolen documents, but because I let fear and excuses hold me back. And that was a very hard pill to swallow. So eventually I just got back to work. I had a long time without work, like I was just sitting in my car completely depressed. I knew that guy that could give me some work, so I started working construction with immigrants who had nothing, and somehow they were like laughing more than me. But the thing is, they showed me something that I had forgotten, is that I was still worth something. So for 2 years I did that, and I was working in $10 million mansions in Malibu, building pools, doing landscaping, being outside in the sun. Like I thought I was tough. I was like, you're a man, like you're doing hard work. But that really was a good time in my life, but it wasn't satisfying because I knew I could do so much better. My boss was very understanding because he knew what I had been through. Eventually, I went to a music festival, then I met my current girlfriend, and it wasn't just another relationship. She taught me how to heal. She pushed me not to just go forward, but ready to heal myself. And she convinced me to do some therapy and some coaching. I mean, I think it was worth every penny because I started rebuilding confidence. I felt like I was worth something, I was lovable again. And then I started asking myself, like, what do you really want? So I asked myself for months, like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I had always been drawn to the audiovisual work. I passed a certification, got certified in event production. Now I get to travel around the country. They fly me out, they pay my hotel, and then I set up shows for incredible artists, and it's really, really awesome. So I do feel like I got my life back, and I'm really like driving again. And not only I'm driving a car, I'm also driving my future. So if you're going through some hard times right now, I really suggest that you just, get on it. It'll take some time to get the blood pumping, I want to say, but you can do it. This is the stories that I have to share, and I hope it's inspiring to you. I wish you good luck with whatever you're dealing with, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.